George Washington, America's first president. George Washington is often called the father of our country. He was the first president of the United States of America. Keep reading to learn about this important leader. George Washington was born on a farm in Virginia in 1732. Virginia was one of 13 colonies ruled by England at that time. America was not even a country yet. George rode his horse to school. He was good at math. He was not as good at spelling. When George was 16 years old, he left home to find work. Some people thought he was a grown-up because he was so tall. George got a job measuring land and making maps. George's dream was to become a soldier. When he was 20, he joined the Virginia Army. George was very brave. Soon he was put in charge of many other soldiers. George also dreamed of having a family. He married a woman named Martha Custis. George left the army and became a farmer, but soon he had to return to the army. At that time, a war was starting because the colonies did not like England's rules. The colonies formed an army. George was chosen to lead it. George's army had problems. There were not enough uniforms and tents. The soldiers were not trained. Many of them were farmers. How could America win the war? George was a great leader. He trained his soldiers. He inspired them too. George ordered that the Declaration of Independence be read to the army. The soldiers all cheered. It said that the colonies were free from England. The war lasted 8 long years. There were many battles, but the colonies did not give up. The English finally asked for peace. George's army had won the war. The colonies became their own country. The United States of America, the new country, needed a leader. George was a hero, so he was elected to be the first president. Being president was a very hard job. There was a lot of work to be done. George traveled to different states. He learned about problems and tried to solve them. George could not run the country all by himself. He chose people to help him, such as Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton. George was elected president 2 times. People even wanted him for a 3rd time. But George thought the country needed a new president. Finally, he returned to his home in Virginia. Today, there are many places named after George Washington. His face is also on the $1 bill and the quarter.